and welcome back to another episode of the Darrell Brooks saga. First of all, I want to say thank you, everyone. We made it to over 100 subscribers, so thank you so much for doing that. The subscriber is gonna come out on Sunday, so wait for that. It's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be something different than this, so I think you will like it, and I would love to know more about it. And if you like it, we're gonna do that every 100 subscribers. If we get to 200, 300, we're gonna do one each. So let me know what you like about that. But let's go right back into the case.
Your objection is noted.
Can I state the grounds, if I may?
You may.
There's a point in the video that was shown, like during the interview part between the officer and the three individuals where,
That's not the exhibit we're talking about.
well,
We're talking about 1C, which is the annotations to the map that were made that are captured by the annotation system that the state just moved in and the court received.
okay, I didn't understand what was being referred to. I was gonna bring this up, but I wanted to wait.
Sir, let's take it up outside the presence of the jury later on. You'll have to remind me later. I've already received the video, which is exhibit number 6.
That video has some language in it that you made an order on. So I just want to put that on the record. Something that you ruled on.
Sir, we'll take it up outside the presence of the jury. All right? I need to keep going on. Next witness, please.
On November 21 of 2021, did you make plans to attend the walk?
Before this witness starts, the thing that he's referring to is that in the video we see last episode, there's some language that Erica said about past events that he heard. And let me remind you that he claims that he doesn't hear really good. He claims that he only hears on one ear or something like that. And he was the only one out of all the attorneys and the judge that listened to that. So keep that on the back of your head.
Waukesha Christmas parade?
Yes, ma'am.
And were you attending that parade with any family members?
Yeah, my wife and 2 kids at the time.
Okay.
Jesus.
Permission to publish number 7, please.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
I can
Yeah,
imagine
object.
kids watching that happen. Sure, irrelevant. He doesn't even know why he's here.
Your objection is noted.
Just
It's
says
overruled.
whatever.
Exhibit 7 is received. Permission to publish is granted.
Something
I'm
funny
going
about
to
him.
ask you to please mark with an X where you were positioned on North Street.
Oh, okay, this is when he went
And North Street is a one-way street, is that correct,
the
sir?
wrong way
Yes, ma'am.
on the street.
What's the direction of travel, if you could mark it?
Yeah, so this is
Okay.
the one way.
Okay, perfect. So
One
you're
way.
stopped at the lane closest to the gas station?
That's correct.
And what happened as you're sitting there, sir?
So about the same time as we were coming up to stop at the stoplight, there was a vehicle that made a left from Barstow onto the wrong way to go to the wrong way on North Street and stopped right up against our vehicle. So,
Okay, could you just draw the travel, the path of travel that you just described, please?
yeah.
What kind of vehicle was this, sir?
It was a red SUV, kind of an older model.
And you've already indicated that's the wrong way to be going on North Street.
Correct, ma'am.
What do you mean irrelevant?
What did you do when you saw this red SUV turning the wrong way into your path of travel?
We kind of approached that stop line at the same time, and so we were really with the other vehicle hood to hood, and again, my wife and 2 kids were in the car, and the driver of the other vehicle kind of put up their hands. You know, I could see through the 2 windshields that the other driver put up their hands and was kind of gesturing wildly, like, again, I don't know if mouthing's the right word, but kind of frantically. It
Mouthing.
seemed upset at us that we were, either going the wrong way or. So I kind of did the same thing.
That's the kind of individual this guy is. Like, he will go the wrong way and yell at you for being in his way. This is this guy. Like, look at this. Look at those eyes. Those disapproving eyes. Like, dude, you're snitching on me. Why?
Just put my hands up and just kind of was confused because we were coming up to a stoplight and
Yeah.
the car had approached us and was hood to hood.
Okay. Did you stay parked hood to hood, or what happened?
So the person in the other vehicle kind of made mention with like a knife hand to his right, my left, to go in maybe towards the gas station. But he was kind of pointing to go into the driveway of the gas station. I put the car in reverse, backed up maybe 5 feet.
And just to be clear, like you can see my mouse, he could have gone this way and then turn like here in this over this to get gas, but no, he decided to go this. I mean, the
And then
shortest
the
distance
vehicle
between 2
drove
points is a
into
straight
the-
line, right?
Into the gas station parking lot.
Incredible.
Do you know who was driving that car?
Again, windshield to windshield, we were, somewhat able to identify, basic features. But when the car drove into the parking lot, it kind of stopped, positioned itself at an angle, and the driver rolled down the window.
Okay.
Should I draw where they stopped?
Sure.
So the vehicle drove in and kind of stopped on a diagonal like this.
All right. And you're still stopped at the stoplight
Correct.
there?
Still stopped at the stoplight.
Okay.
So the other driver rolled down the window of their vehicle. I just, as a reaction, also rolled down the window of my. I don't know why. It's just a reaction of.
Yeah, you want to hear what
so
he's gonna say.
the other driver rolled down their window, maybe halfway, and stuck his head out and kind of looked back. And he said, "Why didn't you get out of the way?" And I'm trying to get gas. And I said, "Well, it's a one-way.
Okay.
You're going the wrong way down the runway." "Well, I'm telling you, I need to get gas." And I go, "Oh, okay, man." And then it was a green light, and then we proceeded. So.
Typical
Okay.
guy. Always someone else's fault.
Do you
Never
think you
his.
can identify the driver of that red SUV?
Yes, I think so. Yeah.
Okay. Do you see that person present in this courtroom here?
I do. Yeah.
Your Honor, I'm going to ask that Mr. Brooks be instructed to remove his mask temporarily.
Mr. Brooks, you're instructed to take off your mask temporarily and look up, please. Thank you.
So at the time, it was a lot more dark facial hair features and
He
longer
still
hair
has
as
his
well.
mask
So,
backwards, I
Okay.
think.
again, I would have saw through the windshield once, but then also with the window rolled down, kind of looking back. So maybe just like the forehead and then the long, massive hair.
Sure. So different than he looks today with kind of a clean shaven or very short hairstyle
Yes,
and
ma'am.
scruff or stubble on his chin?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but you do think it was Darrell Brooks that was driving that car based on seeing him in court here today?
I do, ma'am.
Okay.
The same.
Did it appear to you as though Mr. Brooks was alone in the car?
Yes, it did.
You only saw one person in that car
That's correct.
at that?
Hearsay. He's asking what he saw.
The objection is overruled.
Okay, now let's go back to the parade. You said you were near the 5 Points.
Yes,
It
ma'am.
was very windy that night, right?
Yes.
Overruled.
Did you see a red SUV go through the parade as you were watching it, sir?
Yes, ma'am. The vehicle approached from our left. There was somebody that flew through the air, and then it exited
Jesus
to the
Christ.
right of our perspective.
Okay, but you did unfortunately see a person flying through the air?
Yes, ma'am.
Could you tell anything about the person as far as what group or unit they were with? If you know. If you don't know, that's okay.
No, it was just dark clothing.
Okay.
The objection is overruled. His answer may stand. Mr. Brooks,
I'm
oh,
sorry. Yep. Thank you, Ms. Basie. Could I please ask the clerk to make a screenshot and mark it as 1D, and then I would move to admit.
I don't see the relevance of this.
He never sees the
your
relevance. in anything.
objection is noted. It's overruled. The court receives Exhibit 7A. Do you have any questions for this witness?
I do.
Before he starts, let's just realize that he only knows about 3 objections. Speculation, that he doesn't know what that means. Relevancy, that apparently he doesn't know what that means. Leading the witness, which he learns later, I think. And I think there's one more. But yeah, he doesn't know how to object. He doesn't know what an objection is or what it's used for.
Would it be fair to say that you were interviewed by an officer, a female officer?
Yes.
Okay.
And would it also be fair that you have you gave a written statement to that same officer?
I think I signed the statement that she wrote.
Okay, she wrote it. Not him.
So it'd be fair to say that the officer wrote down what you told her.
Yes.
He just told you.
And do you remember the date that interview took place?
A couple days after the parade incident.
Any reason why it wouldn't have been the same day as the parade?
I would assume that they were rendering aid to the victims of the incident, and it took a while to get back to anybody that had called in with any altercations, or not altercations, but interactions.
I was a busy, busy
Do
day.
you recall stating in this interview that you saw the news and a picture of the male driving the said SUV?
I believe in the statement I said that I wanted to provide a description of who I had the interaction with before I saw any picture of anybody on the news.
That's fair.
Well, let me back up. Did you see a picture of the alleged defendant on the news?
Yes, but not before I provided the description to the officer.
So the description that you gave, would that be the same officer that did the interview?
I called the evening of the
Something. I'm sorry to interrupt the guy, but something that I want to point out that I haven't pointed out yet is that I love how he on his shirt he has the L. I know that it means large. That's how they put stuff in prison, in jail. But I like how he already is carrying that L proudly on his chest because that's what he's gonna get.
incident. I called the non-emergency line and provided a description at maybe 10:30 that evening of the
It's
event,
fitting.
and then provided the same description to the officer, a few days later.
Do you recall why you called the non-emergency line for something that would have been so big that it should have been an emergency call?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained, please rephrase the question, Mr. Brooks.
Any reason why you would call the non-emergency line?
Yeah, someone going down a wrong way on a one-way street a few minutes before the parade didn't seem like an emergency compared to what had happened at the parade.
Yeah, that's not 911.
So would it be fair to say that you were then reporting someone going down the wrong way, trying to get into the gas station at that time?
At what time?
At the time that you called the non-emergency number?
I wanted to report that I had seen someone in a red SUV going the wrong way down a one-way before the parade, and the possibility that it was connected to the red SUV that I had seen drive through the parade.
Makes sense. Same car. It remembers.
So at that time, would it be fair to say you weren't sure if there was a connection?
I would say that I had a red SUV 5 feet from my hood, and then I saw a red SUV drive through the parade and wanted to, notify the police that I had seen that.
So at the time, were you sure that there was a connection?
Pretty sure, yes.
Yeah.
What would have made you pretty sure?
The color of the SUV, the approximate age of the SUV, the timing between the 20 minutes of where I was in Waukesha to the 25 minutes later that I had seen the red SUV go through the parade.
Yeah.
Would it be fair to say that you just described the SUV that made the wrong turn going into the gas station as a older model? I think that was your correct words. Is that fair?
That's relative.
Yes.
10 years. It's old.
Is
These
there
days.
any reason why you wouldn't be able to make the connection between the older model SUV that you saw going into the gas station and the one that you saw in the parade?
No, they were a similar age. I guess older subjective. I mean, it
Yeah.
was a similar age, the one I saw before the parade and the one I saw during the parade.
So it'd be fair to say that you weren't exactly sure.
I'm pretty sure they were the same vehicle.
Yeah.
Do you recall in your statement saying that you were 95% sure?
That sounds right, yes. 95%. I would give that same percentage, yes.
Pretty sure 95.
Why not
But
Why
the same.
would you not be 100% sure if you say that you believe that they were the same vehicle?
Objection, argumentative.
Sustained. Please rephrase the question, Mr. Brooks.
I guess I'll say it like, what put any doubt in your head that they weren't the same vehicle?
I wasn't able to see the driver of the person going through the parade because it was moving so fast. So I guess there's a very, very small chance that the red SUV I saw beforehand happened to be a similar year, make, and model and color of the SUV that I saw go through the parade.
Yeah.
So you weren't exactly sure who was
Oh my
driving the
God.
SUV in the parade.
No.
Correct.
Do you recall saying that his voice was the same?
Yes. So when the second interview had taken place, again, I wanted to provide the description to the officer, the visual description the night of. But just as I did now, I'm 95% sure that the interaction that I had prior to the parade was with you.
And it's weird that he
Who do
didn't
you
have a
refer
dash
to when
cam.
you say you?
Whatever your name is.
Whatever your name.
So you don't know the alleged defendant's name?
I do, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Would it be safe to assume that if you couldn't
So,
see who was driving the SUV in the parade route, that you also couldn't identify if it was the same voice?
The voice has nothing to do with the driver of the vehicle driving the parade. Again, it was moving too quickly. I wasn't able to identify the driver when I
yeah,
saw the
he
vehicle.
never
going
said
through
the driver, he said the
So
car.
would it be safe to assume that you got the description from the news and picture of the person that you seen on the news?
The person and the voice that I saw in the news matched who I interacted with prior to the parade.
But just so we're clear for the record, there was no way you saw who was driving the vehicle in the parade route.
You already
Correct.
said that.
Going back to the interaction at the gas station,
Like is just looking at
do you
Reddit right now.
recall telling the interviewing officer that the driver of that vehicle rolled down the window to say, "I'm almost out of gas"?
Yes.
Do you recall backing your vehicle up to let the driver of that car into the gas station?
Yes.
Do you remember how far you backed up?
5 feet.
Do you remember telling the reporting officer who was writing down your statement that it was 10 feet?
5 to 10 feet.
It
Was
doesn't
it
matter.
5 feet or 10 feet?
It was enough to let the vehicle into the gas station.
So would it be safe to say that you don't recall?
It would be safe to say it's between 5 and 10 feet.
Yeah.
And the second reporting was before you actually were interviewed, correct? Just so we're clear for the record.
What do you mean by the second reporting?
The second time that you called to make a report about the gas station incident, that was before you ultimately were interviewed by law enforcement.
That's correct. The second call was just to make sure that they still had my name, and I didn't really file a formal report that second time. It was just a call to see that they still had my name and contact info, and they had said that an officer would be out eventually to interview.
He wanted to give his input.
That time, when you called to make sure that they still had your name on file, or your report about the gas station incident, at that time, had you made any connection to that incident and what you saw at the parade?
Your Honor, I'm gonna object, we've been through this.
Sustained.
times.
It's been asked and answered.
And were you subpoenaed by the state of Wisconsin
Here we go.
to testify here today?
I was either the state or the county. I received a letter from the county.
Did they identify as the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection. Irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin in the courtroom today?
Objection, Your Honor, vague.
Sustained.
To the best of your knowledge, do you know if the state of Wisconsin is the plaintiff in this matter?
Objection, irrelevant.
Why did they allow
Sustained.
him to do this?
Have
So
you ever had
insane
any
every
action,
time.
any interaction with the state of Wisconsin?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Ever had a phone conversation with the state of Wisconsin?
Objection, irrelevant.
Sustained.
Do you even know the state of Wisconsin?
Same objection.
Sustained.
I wonder if he has like a list. He's just reading the list to be like, no.
And you,
New topic, or
Yeah.
I'll stop the cross-examination
Move
under
on.
90611.
He doesn't have another topic.
Did you ever see the vehicle that went into the gas station actually get gas?
When we turned left onto Barstow, I noticed that the vehicle didn't stop for gas and was gonna either exit to go back on north, but it didn't stop at a gas pump.
Did you see the vehicle pull off from the gas station, or was it just kind of stationary parked?
I can't say what the vehicle did because I was already at that point out of view. I just know that it had not gone to one of the gas pumps.
He was lying again.
It was right here. There we go.
Okay. And as you approach that intersection, do you remember if you had to stop for the stoplight there?
Yes, it had just turned red.
Okay.
So I stopped at the stoplight, and I immediately saw a red SUV come from down the hill on Barstow, and it turned into North Street to go into the gas station. However, it turned on a one-way street, and it was like head-to-head with the car next to me,
Okay.
in the first lane. And so I was right next to the silver car.
Sure.
And
How about, could you draw that for us on the map?
Multiple
Yeah,
The
witness
best you can.
so it came
identifying
down
him. I don't know
here
how it's planned to get
and into
away
this
with it.
first lane right here.
Okay.
Same recollection.
And that's where the silver car was parked.
Yeah.
Or stopped, I should say.
Yes, and there is a driveway to the gas station right here,
Okay.
and the silver
drew
car
that
was
arrow
blocking
really well.
that driveway because it's an exit, not an enter.
Okay.
Presumably the red SUV is mad that the silver car is blocking to get into the gas station. The silver car is like, I'm not doing anything wrong. So they were both kind of upset. And then I noticed the silver car backed up to allow the red SUV to get into the gas station.
Okay. Could you see into the red SUV and see the driver of that vehicle?
After the
Not a
SUV
driver,
pulled in,
Traveler.
he stopped immediately as soon as he got into the driveway
Mm-hmm.
and stuck his head out and was still doing this, like yelling at the silver car.
It appeared he was yelling.
Look at that
Did he
face.
appear
He's mad
angry
at
to
her.
you?
Irritated.
Okay. How many people were in that red SUV at that point? Or did you see anybody other than the driver?
I did not see
Look, he's
anybody
paused.
else.
Okay. Do you think you can identify the driver of that red SUV?
You can hear the dead
Yes.
stare.
Is that person present in the courtroom here today?
Yes.
All right, I'm going to ask Mr. Brooks to remove his mask, Your Honor, for identification by this witness.
Mr. Brooks, thank you. Record to reflect, he took his mask down.
Yes.
Is that the driver of the red SUV you just described for us?
Yes.
Okay. Did you eventually go on to the parade?
Yes. After the SUV got in and stuck his head out, then the light turned green and I went and parked my car,
Okay.
and then met with my family at
Okay.
the location.
Okay. And did you see a red SUV on the parade route?
Yes, about 30 minutes into getting there.
Okay.
So at first,
It took a while.
so a group had just passed us. I believe it was the Catholic community group, and then there was a large gap, and so I looked to see, what's next,
Okay.
and saw a red SUV, which I originally thought was part of the parade, in the far right lane of Main Street, but it was going really fast, and I said to myself, why is this going so fast? And then it clicked as soon as it switched over to the far left lane, and then into the group of people right in front of me.
And that will be the Catholic community group?
I do
as far as you
believe,
know?
I do believe so.
Christ.
Did you see the red SUV strike any people in the Catholic community group?
Several,
Can you estimate how many?
at least 15.
Jesus
Okay.
Christ.
And did, I'm
That's
sorry to ask it this way, but did you see anybody like actually fly or roll or tumble?
Yeah, so originally it was, I heard sounds, like thuds, and then it was in the air, like bowling pins.
Did you get a look at the driver of the vehicle as it went through
He's
the
still
parade?
giving her the death
I
stare.
saw a man focused on the group ahead of him.
Is that Darrell Brooks that you saw?
Yes. And as soon as that happened, about 10 seconds after, I froze and I said to my mom, who was with me, I just saw that guy at the gas station. And it clicked that it was the same person.
You remember exactly that it was the same person.
Yes.
Were you able to estimate the speed of the vehicle?
Great
at
camera
that
work, by
time?
the way. I commend the guys that manage the cameras.
Overruled.
Would you be able to estimate the speed?
I would say 20 miles per hour, perhaps.
Okay. Did you ever see the vehicle stop?
I think it had to at least very well slow down. It couldn't just continue on over as many bodies as it did. I remember the brake lights.
So the
but
body
then
slowed him
it
down.
Continued.
Did you actually see the vehicle drive over people?
I saw it hit the group and people fly, and then there was just chaos in the street.
Okay.
Mr. Brooks, do you have any cross-exam for this witness?
Of
I do.
course he does.
First of all, good afternoon.
First of all,
You stated that you saw brake lights. Would that be fair to say?
Mm-hmm.
Was that a yes?
Yes.
Thank you.
Would it be fair to say you would only see brake lights from a vehicle if it was attempting to stop?
no.
Or slow.
Yeah.
So, just so I'm clear on that, you would see brake lights on a vehicle that is attempting to slow down or stop.
Yes. That's the purpose
Sure.
of the brakes.
And you stated that you can estimate the speed of the vehicle.
Yeah.
I estimated 20
guess.
miles per hour.
Would you characterize that as extremely fast?
In the context,
For, yes, for the parade, yes.
And how did you come to the conclusion of the speed?
yeah. It's a guess.
With how quickly it went from point A to point B in my range of sight.
I would need to see the map again.
We
You
still
were-
have that available? The map? We still have the map with the markings available up, or was it cleared after we captured
I
it?
didn't clear it. Yeah,
Okay.
could we please save that as 7B, please, Your Honor?
It will be saved as 7B.
And admitted.
Any position on that, Mr. Brooks?
Object.
Yeah, I don't see the relevancy of the map.
It's
Directly
relevant.
related
It's
to
what
her
you
testimony,
said.
sir. It's relevant. Your
No, it's not.
objection is noted.
So,
It's
How can you not
overruled.
click
Exhibit 7B is received.
Get it.
where were you positioned again at the stoplight?
In the X.
I was in the front row in the middle lane.
You see an X right there.
Do you recall if the vehicle you saw going into the gas station had any tinted windows?
I do not.
And you stated that you were pretty sure it was only one occupant of that vehicle?
Yes, that's all I could see.
With all you can see, or are you sure that it was only one occupant?
I could see one person.
There you go.
So it'd be fair to say you couldn't see any other seats in the vehicle.
I saw one person when it was head to head with the vehicle next to me, the one with the arms in the air, and then I saw one person as he stuck his head out the window once he pulled in.
Could you see the passenger seat?
I could not from
Could you
that point.
Could you see the back seats?
No.
You only saw one person.
Do you recall who subpoenaed you here to testify?
Yes.
You stated for the record?
Yes, I
Here we
said.
go again.
Oh, the state of Wisconsin district attorney.
Do you see the state of Wisconsin present in the courtroom today?
Objection,
Please.
irrelevant.
Stop it.
Sustained. Mr. Brooks, move on. Under 90611,
Thank you.
I've sustained all of the objections
Thank you.
related to this line of questioning. It's not relevant. Next topic, or I will find that the cross-examination by you is done.
So you're sustaining every question pertaining to that part of
Yes.
questioning? Or is it for
Yes.
every testimony? Or
All of
It's
it.
on that topic, so you may continue if you choose another topic.
have you ever seen the plaintiff, state of
We just-
Wisconsin, before?
Why?
Right, pursuant to 90611,
It literally
Judge
the
controls
next
the-
question.
order and mode of interrogation, that these questions violate sub
Unbelievable.
1, and Mr. Brooks will not be able to ask any further questions of this witness. Does the state have any redirect?
No redirect, Your Honor.
All right, thank you. You may step down.
All right, and we're gonna leave it at that point. Thank you for watching. As you can see, Darrell Brooks has no idea how to cross-examine someone. The only thing that he does is try to reduce their credibility, which is not gonna happen because the facts are right there. You cannot lie about them. They're just there, and different people are saying the same thing. So you're not gonna make them less credible. So, and he doesn't know how to object. He basically doesn't know anything. He doesn't even prepare. He prepares by when they call the witness, he pulls his folder, he reads as he's asking questions, and then he asks about that, and that's it. He doesn't know. Like we saw with Detective Good, like he said, you didn't put that on your report, and he's like, yeah, it's there. Keep reading. But yeah, I'll see you guys on the next episode. This is good. This was one more mild one, but trust me, things are gonna start picking up. Thank you for watching. Like the video if you make it this far. I'll see you guys tomorrow.